Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. We'll get started in about 30 seconds or so. Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see familiar faces. Let's get started. For dollar, yen, all move. So I hope some of you guys caught that because I've been talking about that in my group. I've been pretty much telling you guys about these pairs that are happening before I went to sleep. So I think most of them all work out pretty well. Most of them all play out pretty well. So hope that you guys catch some of these. Let's get started. We'll get started with, I'll quickly go over just the two positions that are in. Pound yen. So I pound yen, if you guys recall, um, two entries here. First entry I got in was the break of this ascending channel, and then we have the impulse, correction, impulse. So I got in on this trade. I think a lot of you guys got in on this one. And then I just exited because when I start seeing a little bit more lower time frame, uh, bullish price action. I saw a little bit more bullish price action when I see this push down and then impulse off followed by a correction. I knew something like this was going to happen that might form a deeper correction, but I didn't want to hold the trade for a deeper correction. So I just exited here for about 2.3%. And then once I start seeing a development of this continuation, if we just zoom out here, this is pretty much just an impulse. This is just a correction in the making, and we pretty much have a continuation correction. We break down again. So I was really looking at this, and I just opted with a reversal order. I was looking at to see a potential completion of this structure here, which it did, and then just opting with a entry order here for price to take me in. I was choosing this one versus Aussie to enter here because the move down to the low here, pound yen gave me a little bit slightly better risk reward than Aussie yen, so I opt with pound yen. But Aussie yen pushed down just as much as well, right? I was also in Aussie yen. I was in the short position. Same exit when I saw the lower time frame. So I'm happy overall with the result. Fine, not was looking for a continuation here, which exactly happened as well. Just chose pound yen instead because of risk reward. So that's pound yen. I'll go over silver. Silver as well. Talk about silver. In the weekly outlook, I like how if we zoom out here on the higher time frame, we're looking pretty bearishly. We have impulse, correction, impulse, and then continuation correction looking like we're going to push lower. And I was pretty much looking for a correction after breakout in higher time frame correction and just enter with an entry order here. So it looks like price is popping down now. So that's good. Again, my potential target is just at the lows of this bigger, higher time frame channel, higher time frame structure, and then looking for potential up move after we reach the bottom. So these are the two entries I'm in. I'm in silver, I'm in pound yen, just two entries for now. And we'll see how it develops moving forward. Okay, so okay, so that is silver. So those are the two trades I'm in, and let's get started with today's outlook. Kind of looking at the dollar pairs and yen pairs, and we'll go from there. Hey everyone, nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Good job. Let me just answer someone's thing here really quickly. So let's get started with dollar index here. Dollar index, if you guys recall, I still have that bullish bias on the price. We push up, that correct. Remember this whole area where the FOMC meeting happened. I made a video on this. I want you guys to really check it out on news events because um, it's really going to show you guys about what news event matters or not. And news happens, it creates volatility, but it does not create the overall trend. I'm gonna go over a few dollar and yen pairs, but that is pretty much what my video is explaining is if you see the overall move bullish, really the news is just a temporary volatility, but it bullish, which is what we're looking at for a dollar to get more strength. So let's take a look at a few dollar pairs because they're all shaping up to be pretty well, right? I think a lot of you guys got in on some of these as well, so good job on your part to have an entry, have a management. I always ask me for signals because I'm not here to provide signals. I'm not here to provide entries and things like that. I give you guys very good analysis, very good outlook of what the price is doing, but in terms of entries, in terms of risk management, have your own plan, have your own risk management. That's going to help you in the long run in this business. So Aussie dollar, we push down, we push out of this higher time frame structure and continuation correction, and we're just pushing down now. So what do we expect for the price now? Well, let's see if we can just break below this kind of area, complete this head and shoulder pattern. We break out followed by more correction, and we're likely to go lower. And that's kind of what I expect price to do in the upcoming days. If we zoom out here, I like how we are already showing pretty much bearish sign from here. This move can continue all the way down to the lows here. Just have to be a little bit more patient to see how the price move down. Are we going to get more impulsive, more correction, and eventually push down the price? That's what I will for. Moving on to Kiwi dollar, I think Kiwi dollar prime example of the news does not predict the price action. I made that video. It's the same thing. This is FOMC meeting. We have this price pop to the upside. You know, you hear people jump onto this bullish kind of momentum, and then guess what happened? Price consolidated a little bit, did not push up, instead just pushed down afterward in the session, pretty much tagging all the new impatient trader in this section. And what does the price do? Continuation, right? If we look at here, we have and then lower time frame, we have this ascending channel moving the price up. We have an impulse up, reversal impulse down, right? I talk about this, which is the key. We have a reversal impulse down, and if we break out this correction, and we have a continuation here, example of impulse, correction, impulse, and the news event that happened here in the 1 or 2 hours does not change the overall direction, does not change the overall price action. So I think this is pretty much a prime example where a lot of us should understand that don't let the news, don't let the volatility get to you, right? If you jump on this trying to hope that the price will continuously go up, and then a lot of traders, new traders especially, no idea with risk management, no idea with stop loss. If they're not even having a stop loss, guess what the price is doing, right? This one trade is going to wipe out their account because they don't understand controlling their emotion, controlling their risk, etc. So Kiwi pair pretty much dropped quite massively, right? So what do we expect? Well, we're not going to jump in unless we see a correction. That's always my plan, right? It doesn't matter how big or small, you want to look for some sort of continuation correction that's going to push the price lower. That is going to be the safe management, safe entries, right? Jumping in here because you don't know if this move is going to reverse back up or not. That's why a confirmation here is going to be ideal. Okay, so definitely favor a lot of these dollar pairs. They look pretty clean. You see this similar head and shoulder, so very good reversal right at the top of the overall price action on the higher time frame. So certainly expect this to drop and drop more in the upcoming weeks. Let's talk about euro dollar. Euro dollar also dropped quite a bit as well. Been talking about euro dollar since the top pretty much. We have that ascending channel, impulse, correction, impulse, right? And looks like price is forming another continuation correction here. what I like about it is we break out of that higher time frame structure, and looks like there is continuation here. And if we zoom out a little bit, we really the next target or next potential area to watch out for is this key area here. This is the double bottom from the previous price before the price move up. So certainly you can expect price to move all the way down here to this low if we get more bearish continuation to the downside. So for all the crypto guys, I'm gonna go over at the very end. I'm gonna go over crypto after I finish currency, commodity, indices, and jump into crypto at last. So bear with me if you guys don't mind. So we talk about pound dollars for pretty much a month now. All the way from the top, we talk about this can be a big reversal coming down. So it's already dropping down. It looks like we're getting another continuation. And the key here, in my opinion, is can we break out of this higher time frame ascending channel? If this move breaks out, follow pretty much, I'm always going to sell this. This is pretty much no brainer. Like this is just an entry that we always look for in terms of price action. We know that the longer, the higher this ascending channel goes, the deeper the correction goes, the stronger the bearish reverse. Let's see if we can push out followed by correction. And I'm definitely going to jump in on this sell here to the lows. Okay, so definitely most of these dollars are looking pretty decent. So I'm going to make sure I catch one of these at least. But I'm going to be also very patiently waiting, okay? We're not jumping in because it's popping to a downside, whatever, we're jumping in if there's confirmation from the price to jump in. So there's a difference between that. Make sure you have a good risk management, make sure you understand your strategy and your entries, and you're not just following others for entries like that, okay? So moving on, dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is also one of my favorite. I like how we have this long descending channel correcting the price, and then continuation possibly from the bottom because we have this expanding structure pushing the price down. Expanding structure can be reversal or continuation. So we're waiting for that breakout followed by continuation. I actually got in an entry here, just got taken out for a break even, but looks like prices continue upwards now, which is good. I want to see a little bit more bullish price action if we're going to get them. And then we want to see a continuation at least to the top of the structure here. And if we can break out followed by more bullish price action, certainly this will be a very good buy. And this can be that huge kind of reversal that I've been waiting for. We know that price has been dropping down quite a bit, right? And we're pretty much sitting at this previous low now. And this structure, how that's pretty much similar like Euro Aussie and Euro Kiwi that I'm gonna go over, right? Descending channel moving the price down, pretty much no brainer in my opinion when it comes to a potential reversal, and it's pretty much the same here on dollar CAD. So some pairs are going to move faster, some pairs are going lower, a different pair of course, but same kind of higher time frame descending channel, double bottom, and then lower time frame is bullish reversal. So all of these are a pretty good confluence to be looking for that next buy move. And if you're into long-term holding, I certainly expect price to continue at least to the top here. If you can break above, then certainly higher high, higher low can be very possible. Okay, so that is dollar CAD, guys. Any questions so far on any of the dollar pairs? I know I'm going a little bit fast, but I talk about most of these in my weekly outlook. If you haven't watched my weekly outlook, you can watch it on TradingView. You can watch my stream from TradingView, or you can go on my YouTube on my playlist. I do all the weekly outlook and daily market updates all here, so you can rewatch them. So going to dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, I think some of you guys got in on dollar Swiss, and there was a question to me, dollar Swiss when the move pushed down from here. Originally, we're looking at the structure like this, right? This is what the structure, what some of us are looking at, had a breakout, and it looks like there was continuations. The answer to this is that price wasn't finished correcting, right? Always talk, we as price action traders A correction, we don't know 100% when a correction will be over, but we know that there's a tendency of a correction forming when I start seeing at least 2 swing highs and 2 swing lows. In this case, it was 3 of them already, so it acts confluence for this entry. But when price, as long as it didn't break below the structure, it doesn't break below here, followed by continuation to drop, then this structure is valid. It just shows you that this correction takes a little bit longer. You just need to adjust what you're seeing now. The correction is just being a little bit longer, but ultimately still showing you that bullish momentum. We have seen it push up very aggressively, right? And this is that deeper correction that we always want to wait for. And we finally wait for a breakout here. And the same approach as what we would do here is you're not going to just enter here correction on the lower time frame to give you that a little bit more confirmation that it's going to continue upwards more. Okay, so same thing like this or same thing like this, depending on your entry, depending on your risk management, but looking for the continuation from forward. Okay, so that is dollar Swiss. And last dollar I want to go over is dollar Singapore dollar. It's also one of the one that we've been pushing down massively since the COVID time. And really what I like about it, I went over this briefly in the weekly outlook. Double bottom here, price made a kind of a descending channel or a falling wedge. We had a bullish breakout followed by continuation, and then another impulse up followed by looking like another correction here in the making. So wait for this correction to be over, and I do expect further upside from here. Okay. So that is dollar Singapore dollar. Euro Kiwi I will go over after. What is my bias on dollar? All strength, right? I just went over all the dollar already. I think you missed them. But all the dollars are pretty much bearish, right? Talking about them for since a couple months now, right? We're all seeing strength in dollar, right? Every single one of them. There's no exceptions in my opinion. So my favorite ones are pound dollar, Kiwi dollar, dollar CAD. These are my favorite ones going to the week or the month, but pretty much all of them are just textbook bearish move, right? Impulse down, correction, impulse, right? There's really, you see a larger head and shoulder here, and then you see a smaller head and shoulder here as well. So all these are just action that give you that bearish bias, right? So look for those, do some chart work. You're going to identify them just like how I identify them, okay? And they will come to you second nature once you start seeing this, right? This is prime example of the news does not change the market at all. We have a little bit volatility pushing up from the FOMC meeting, and then after that, huge bearish continuation, right? Impulse, correction, impulse. Very clean, very textbook-like, okay? Euro Yen, I'll go over major pips. Aussie CAD, I'll go over that. Dollars are, sure. I think this is one of them where I'm not really seeing a strong dollar push among the very other dollar pairs that I'm looking at. I went through all the dollar pairs, kind of giving us a potential bullish on the strength of dollar, but not here in the ZAR. I think I updated this last time is I want to see if price actually will hit this low first before reversing, because this is also looking like a descending kind of parallel channel, and double bottom here would be nice to reverse the price up from this point forward. Okay, but it's not ready. It doesn't look like it's ready, so I'm not really anything. So moving on to Aussie CAD. Some of you guys talk about Aussie CAD. I was in Aussie CAD, if you guys remember. I got in Aussie CAD, got out for about 4% or so. Update this in the Telegram. Price is pushing down, impulse down. What I see here now is this section here is a little bit messy. I'd rather see more clean price action. I guess you can see that this is potentially a structure we're making. So impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, looking like we're getting another impulse. would choose, honestly, I would choose Kiwi CAD over Aussie CAD now, because Kiwi CAD looks the cleanest on the higher time frame. It looks very nice. We're breaking out of this higher time frame ascending channel, lower time frame ascending channel, and clear in that we're breaking continuation correction here. Again, I'm definitely going to sell this, right? So that's why Aussie CAD is not really my favorite. I would choose, like I said, I would choose Kiwi CAD over Aussie CAD because of the price action here. Aussie Yen. So I want to talk about Aussie Yen quickly. Also, Aussie Yen was a position I got in. I just got out for about 3.4% or something. But this is exactly what we're looking for, right? We want to see that confirmation breakout, confirmation correction. We're pushing down lower to move down more. Okay, no brainer here in my opinion. Don't second guess yourself. Okay, look at the higher time frame here. We have the higher time frame double top, and if we go down to the lower time frame, pulls down and kind of a ascending channel correctly moving the price up. Double top here, and again FOMC meeting. What does it do? Well, it creates an impulse, correction, impulse. Naturally, we're supposed to have continuation to go higher, but instead this is a reversal structure. So an impulse up, reversal structure, reversal impulse down, continuation, and look like we're pushing down, and we push out of this higher time frame structure. So everything is looking very clean, very bearishly to continue, right? There's no question about this in my opinion, at least to this low here, at least for the price to get to this low and then see if we can break out this and continue, or we might just start reversing from this point forward. But this short move, we've been talking about this for since last week already. So I think a lot of you guys catch this. Hopefully you guys are still in, or maybe you're looking to get in, or you got in maybe during London session here or whatever. But personally, I definitely see to continue lower and lower to at least the lows here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so that is Aussie Yen. That is Aussie Yen. Let's go on. Let's move on to other yen pairs. I know some of you guys are looking at other yen pairs as well. I'm not really interested in CAD yen or Swiss yen, so I'm not going over those, but I'll talk about Euro yen. So Euro yen's pretty much similar than most of other yens that we have been looking at. I like how we have that symbol. And again, I was looking for a potential sell here. Remember, we don't know when this correction will finish, but what we do know is when we have an impulse breaking out of the structure and there's a correction here, we're likely to see continuation. So this move that didn't break out, so what we get here is really same thing as every other yen pairs that we're going to see, is that we have that FOMC volatility pushing the price up, but pretty much what it does is just form a double top here, M style pattern, impulse down, followed by continuation or push down. So one of them is like that. So again, you're gonna hear me repeat this a lot in the stream, but that's my whole point of the news does not predict the market, right? So that's a prime example here. And jumping on the news after that's already happened, you're likely to be too late. There's a strategy if it works in their strategy and plan, if it works in their risk management, etc. But by the time you jump in, by the time you're trying to jump in when the volatility have already happened, you're just gonna get tagged out a lot more often. And if you don't have stop in here, a lot of new traders probably just holding their trade, hoping this volatility, hoping the news will continue push higher, but price just continue to drop lower. And then after that, they're gonna blow their account, and then they're going to be blaming the market, blaming the brokers, right? But come on, let's be honest with ourselves. Was there an entry here? Does that fit their strategy and plan? If it does not, then why are they entering here, right? That's really the big difference of it here. Okay, so going back to Euro Yen, I also see this slanted head and shoulder as well. So if we zoom out here, we're still in this higher time frame rising wedge, and we have this very clear correctional stage of the ascending channel. I know this is kind of separated, but I don't phase of it. Just just think of it as this is all connected and this is just an ascending channel moving up. So long period consolidation, what do we see that from? Pound dollar, right? Pound dollar, exactly the same thing as this ascending channel. Remember, the longer, the deeper, and the lengthier a correction goes, the stronger the impulse goes afterwards. Okay, so do some back testing to really understand what I mean here. The longer, the deeper, and the wider the correction goes. Okay, so very similar idea here on Euro Yen here, in my opinion. I do see that ascending channel here very correctively since pretty much January, and we're starting to get that bearish move right now. So if there's a correction here, if it fits your plan, you can sell this, but better to wait for the price to break out will be even better. It's the same idea because you can have the next previous low as a potential target. You can either sell to this low, pretty much same as Euro Dollar for that previous low before the price move up. So Euro Yen, very clean. I do like Euro Yen as well. I certainly might get back into some of these yen pairs if I see the potential entries, but because I'm in pound yen already, so I'll be a little bit more careful to see what other yen pairs that will shape up. Gold, I'll go over that as well afterwards. So pound yen, so I talk about pound yen as well in the beginning, but pound yen, what I see here is pretty much the similar like Euro Yen, right? We have this double top here, we have this first ascending channel moving the price up, and then we have this push down and then followed by a ascending channel reversal. So we know that when we start seeing these kind of price action over and over again, it's going to help you to identify these a lot easier, right? Double top here, M style pattern, and ascending channel moving the price up, and we have that strong impulse out. This was my first entry, continuation down, and then if we zoom out a little bit, we're just forming another correction here, right? So impulse correction, impulse out now. So if there's more correction here, expect the price to continue. My first target would always be to see what we'll do at the end of this correction here, because this move can just move down to here and then start coming up again. So be careful when that happens. So that's my first target, but if we just impulsively break below that and form continuation, I'm definitely going to get back into this and look for more sell. All right, so that in yen. Let's move on to Kiwi yen. So Kiwi yen, very clean, like Kiwi dollar, right? We have this clean double top. On the higher time frame, you can see that on the higher time frame, it pretty much made its own double top as well. And again, same kind of pattern. This right side of the M needs to be corrective. This is exactly what we're seeing. Seeing this kind of expanding structure here, and this top latest bit of the price pretty much give you that confirmation. There's like a reversal structure here. So impulse, correction, impulse out, right? Most Kiwi pair are massively bearish since yesterday. So looking for continuation if you're interested in this. Now that we broke out of this expanding structure, and looking for continuation would be very, very nice to continue the price down to the next low. Okay, so Kiwi Yen, definitely one of my go-to one as well. Same with Euro Yen, Aussie Yen. All the yen pairs look pretty clean, right? Wait, this is why the confirmation and patience is really important, guys. When I made this chart, I talk about that. Wait for some sort of correction to finish. We don't know when this correction will finish. It can just finish now and start dropping, or it can go on indefinitely before it drops. And this is waiting for confirmation, be patient here is super important because you don't know when this correction will finish, but you do know that a very high probability that this can be a continuation. And that's pretty much what happened in this case. If you try to get in on the sell here, they're not going much anywhere, you're a break even or a loss, but once the correction finishes, the impulse happens, right? This is an impulse correction, impulse. So try to make peace with the market. I think this is what I always tell people is trying to single move. It's impossible, Okay, you're not always going to catch every single pair, every single move, but you are going to catch some of it, right? That's what the whole point of trading is. We're not here to trying to be a millionaire in 1 year. We're trying to be consistent of how we enter, continuously trade. We cannot trade if we have no capitals, right? But a lot of people are just blowing their accounts, so they can't physically trade, right? So let's talk about Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is a pair that I'm looking to enter now. Okay, I haven't entered this yet, but I am looking to enter this. So we have this kind of a descending channel moving the price down, and then we have this impulse looking like a correction, right? And I said, wait for whatever development that's going to happen here, but wait for that ultimate breakout, which is exactly what we're seeing here now, right? So how I would manage this, or how I'm planning to do this, is I'm waiting for a correction to complete here, right? This looks like something that I will be looking to enter because we pushed up massively already. This is a strong impulse up, right? So naturally, you want to be a little bit more careful if you're looking for an entry here. So make sure you have good enough stop loss. I personally is looking for something like this to enter, and I give myself enough room for a potential deeper correction if that's going to happen. But ultimately, the overall price, we're going to reverse on this descending channel now, right? Higher time frame, I talk about that. This is the previous double bottom. It can be this higher time frame double bottom now, which is where the price is at. And so looking for a continuation here, looking for the top of the structure here is always going to be my second target. My first target is going to be the top around this level if the price continues. Okay, so let me look at some question here. I'll go over crypto that at the end. Okay, so if you stream, you can rewatch it because I will go over them. You can rewatch them on my YouTube or TradingView. I will talk about gold after, okay? Just keep in mind, I will talk about gold after I finish currency. With me. Aussie Swiss, not really interesting. Aussie Swiss, it's not really on my go to watch this, but I do see potential bearish move in my opinion. This is just forming some sort of structure here. It's not as clear as, let's say, Kiwi Swiss, which is already dropping quite a bit, right? Talk about Kiwi Swiss when price formed this kind of a expanding structure continuation, right? This is something that I've been talking about as well. Now I'll just be waiting for a correction because this move already happened. Whereas Aussie Swiss is not, right? It doesn't show the same kind of tendency. You can have the structure like this, or you can have the structure the way how I drew. It doesn't matter because you're waiting for some sort of continuation that's going to confirm the bias here. Whereas Kiwi Swiss, the impulse is very strong, and this consolidated part is still consolidating, which is also very good. Okay, that's why Aussie Swiss is not on my watch list. So I will be looking to enter if I get a good sense of this correction complete. I'll look for entry up. Talk about Euro Kiwi. I think a lot of you guys also talk about Euro Kiwi. I don't know if you guys caught Euro Kiwi, but I've been talking about Euro Kiwi for pretty much a month now. Moving the price down, double bottom here, and price pretty much had an impulse up state, a lot of period of time consolidating, and then a strong impulse breaking above that. So this is exactly what we're looking for, right? So don't be discouraged if you haven't got in yet, because price has to form much showing you that this is going to be the bullish trend continuation. We broke out of that descending channel, right? So make sure you understand the significance of price action here because we broke out of this higher time frame double bottom here, and we pretty much break it out super impulsively. Look at that one daily candle. That's like 200-300 pips in one candle, right? So naturally price needs to correct. Okay, so don't try to jump in here. It might have worked with you, it might have worked this time, or it might have worked for you in the past, but for long-term sustainability, really don't have FOMO here. Okay, wait for a correction here, wait for the next buy. All right, wait for a correction like this or wait for a correction like this. We don't know what will happen, but my opinion is wait for that continuation correction here. Wait for the correction to hit all the top, to hit the top here, right? It's the same thing as well. We talk about here, if you call my sell down from here, when this impulse happened followed by correction, we don't know when this correction will be over. You can see that I tried to enter several sell here, but the third time when the correction actually completes, that's when the impulse happens. So don't have FOMO here. Wait for correction to finish and wait for the next entry will be better than trying to jump onto something like this where what if price just start reversing back down like this, not much, and then just form a bigger correction before the next up move. And you're going to peg out here for a loss, peg out here for a loss, and before you know it, you do a few losses, and then next bullish move up happens, and you'll hate yourself for not catching onto this. I've been mentioning this is Euro Kiwi. This is Euro Kiwi. On the top left, you can see my symbols. I don't know if it's clear for you or if it's small, but on the top left here is where I will try to mention it every single time. Hopefully that makes sense. BNB, I'm gonna talk about all the crypto at the end, okay? But you're welcome to type it here. I'm gonna go over them in the stream, and you can rewatch it if you can stay till the end, okay? Aussie Kiwi. Now I might watch this. But I talk about the continuation here, right? Those of you who follow me, I've been talking about. Now, once this correction starts forming, I'm not interested in the sell because we have this above. We're breaking above now, right? So this was the entry that I got in, but didn't hold through this whole correction. What I see now is price break this high now. We continue above now. So what do we expect? Again, wait for continuation and then wait for the next buy. Right? Kiwi is weak across the board, but I also think Aussie is weak, but Kiwi is definitely weaker than Aussie, and this is why this bullish move happens. So I think waiting for correction here would be ideal to buy, and you can look for the next top as a potential target, and then we'll go from there. Because higher time frame wise, if we just zoom out a little bit here, to me, this is still a long period consolidation that the price is doing. The only way to change all this is that we're just going to start seeing strong bullish bias and continuation, which is pretty much what I'm expecting, because when price start forming this bit of the consolidation since January 2014, so we've been in this consolidation for 7 years now. As we know, this impulse down and followed by a kind of a neutral parallel correction, we have a strong likelihood of reversal. Okay, so that is obviously a long-term kind of forecast, of course, but short-term wise, look for a correction here to the top. I think that will be okay. How do you treat historic support resistance or round numbers? I don't. Lion. I don't trade support resistance. And I don't use the round numbers. I understand what you mean, and I understand there's strategy involved in that, but I personally don't do that. Here's a few reasons why I don't, and I'm not talking bad about them, so don't note this down as me saying that it's not good. I used to trade support, I used to trade EMA stuff, but what ended up happening here is if you have some support resistance line going like this or whatever, or historical numbers, like whatever, right? People have these numbers going across. What ends up happening is you're never going to catch the impulsive move, right? When the move happens, there's going to be a bunch of support resistant line. There's going to be a bunch of round number line. There's going to be EMA line going like this. So you're never going to catch the impulsive phrase if you have all these support resistant line in the middle. You see what I mean? It's like they don't work together. They don't work well together. They contradict each other. That's what I'm trying to say is support resistant line here, support resistant line here. But are you going to be able to catch the impulsive phrase of the market condition? Not likely, because people who trade support resistant, this is where they take profit or this is where they take profit, right? Tendency of support resistance, right? People are not going to hold the trade long enough because there's a bunch of historical line going across. And when you mean historical, especially historical line is something that I don't look at. Again, people talk about historical line. The point is, why does the data all the way in the back matters to what we're looking at now, right? It's to me, when I'm looking at the price, all I care about is the most recent price action that's applicable to what we're looking at. So all this previous price action that has already happened is not applicable to what I'm looking at here. Okay, what I'm looking at here is all I need to look at is what's the price in this latest bit of the price doing. Well, price moved down correctively to a descending, to a double bottom here. We move down in a descending channel. That's really much all I'm going to look at. I'm not looking back all the way off all this price action, which is not relevant to what's going on here. Okay, so I hope that explained a little bit. That's kind of what I mean when I don't look at the historical stuff. Okay. How am I planning to enter Euro Aussie? I'm planning to enter Euro Aussie something like this. Something like a reversal entry that I talk about in my book. So a reversal entry, I'm looking for at least 2 swing highs and 2 swing lows. This is pretty much shaping up to be something I'm about to enter. So I will look to, and I might not even need 50, 80 pips here. I probably only need 50 here. So that's something I will look to enter, but please don't just follow me. Have your own plan, have your own management, because that will be a lot better. This is something. And again, I'm happy to take a loss here if that's going to happen. Happy to take entry here because I see that impulse up. I see a potential continuation correction in the mid. And if I go for the usual correction after break, I think my stop loss. So I would opt in with a reversal entry, which is more riskier, but most reward possible if this work out. So that is something I might actually do actually. So give me a second here. I'm gonna just make sure I input this into my phone. So what we'll usually do is we'll wait for this 1 hour candle close. This is 14 o'clock. So yeah, we'll wait for 1 hour, 2 hour, and I'll wait for this 1 hour candle close, and I'll set an entry order or something like this, and that's it. So Euro Kiwi we talk about, that's going to the remaining Kiwi pairs. So talk about Kiwi CAD. So Kiwi CAD also dropped down pretty massively. So hope that you guys are in. Some of you guys are in, right? If I recall correctly, someone sent me these sent me these charts that they're in. They got in from here, so pretty much in very good profit now. I would say, to me, someone asked me about should I enter now. I would wait for the breakout, which is exactly what's happening here. So if there's a lower time frame continuation here, I'd like to get in on this. So we know that we have this, ascending channel which is moving the price correctively, and we're also in the higher time frame ascending channel as well. So again, multi-time frame analysis is going to help you to identify the price action. When we see that really strong impulse breakout, right? This is such a strong impulse breakout. There was a correction here, and there was a correction here. But because I'm getting pretty low to the bottom of the higher time frame structure, that's just within my plan not to enter these and start reversing upwards, and I don't want that to happen. But now that we broke out of this higher time frame ascending channel, that's the first confirmation I always look for, right? And the second confirmation that I will look for is a continuation correction here, and look for the sell down to the next low. Okay, so again, very, very clean. I haven't seen price this clean for a long time. And this is why we as price action traders is, as price action trader, we need to be patient, right? When the market is correcting, it's correcting, right? We know that price is correcting, but when the market moves, it also moves impulsively. So a lot of traders would lost money is when they lost in a correction, when they lost in a correction, or when they lost money in a correctional phrase. But when the correctional phrase finishes, the next impulsive phrase happen. This is where we're going to make the most money. What a lot of new traders can't distinguish is they think they need to jump every single trade, they need to get in on every single sell or buy, and what ends up happening is you're taking a lot of mediocre medium trades where they're not good probability setup, and they end up draining their account on these so-so setups. And when the actual move happens, they don't have money to trade it. Smaller now, then they can trade bigger, or they can capitalize on it because they just blow their account or blow their money, and now that they're left with a small account. But when an actual very good risk reward entry happens and looking for the sell, they couldn't capitalize because they don't have them, or they took a multiple losses here already and they're just fed up with trading and they kind of turn their head away. Before they know it, this move is all the way down here and they just realize that they missed all this potential profit. Right? I've seen this over and over again from people. Right? When I do coachings, when I hear people, it's the same, right? This is why I'm trying to emphasize this to everyone. Really work on the emotion side of things. The market is not going to just fall in a straight line, right? Even if it's in the impulsive phrase, look how many correction the price is forming. The price is not going to drop down in another zone. And remember what I said earlier, make peace with yourself, right? You're not going to catch every single one of them, but you're just going to catch some of them because that's causing you to compound your account to a bigger account. And when better setup happen, you're going to continuously take. So last I want to go over Kiwi Swiss. I'm happy to take a loss too. I've been waiting Euro Aussie. This is just a mindset game. Um, if you make peace with yourself and let's say you enter a Euro Aussie trade, I already acknowledge that this trade can be a loss, right? So make peace with yourself that you know that every single trade you take, there's a potential that you're going to take a loss. The moment you actually register that, the moment you actually acknowledge that, and you understand that, okay, well, I take a loss here 1%, but if this trade plays out, I'm going to make massive profit, then make peace with yourself. And you might take a one entry here or two entry here, but you'll make back all of them in one go. Right? With yourself is the most important part. You're not here to, trying to, make 30-40%, right? You're trying to catch the trades. You're trying to consistently get in on entries and continuously do that every week, every month, every year. That's how you're going to be consistent. Your return may not be consistent like what people think it is, 5%, 5%, 5%. It's actually going to be like 2%, 8%, -2, +3, etc. But it all adds up averagely and it will give you that consistent return because you're entering and you're exiting, you're managing, you're risking consistently. Okay. So Kiwi Swiss, let's talk about Kiwi Swiss. I got a little bit carried away, but Kiwi Swiss, we talk about Kiwi Swiss for a potential sell here, right? Impulsive move down, right? This impulsive move down this move up followed by the reversal impulse. That's always what I look for. Remember I made a video on reversal impulse? Make sure you watch this video on reverse because it pretty much shows you that this is what the bulk of the market will do. When you see an impulsive move, when it's not followed by continuation, nor is it followed by reversal correction, and if there's a bigger correction or whatever correction forming, it's usually going to give you a very strong chance of that continuation, which is exactly what we're seeing here. So no correction here, but it pushed down, we pushed below this low, even better, right? We pushed below this previous low because originally this can be a possibility, right? Impulse and make a bigger correction in reverse, that's a possibility, but we broke this previous low And the last confirmation here is if there's a continuation correction here, this will be a very nice sell to the low. Okay, so this is very clean. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen clean price action for a few months now, right? So impulse, correction, impulse, right? No brainer here. This is a larger continuation, expanding structure that I talk about as well. So wait for here, wait for the next sell will be very ideal. Is dollar Swiss breaking the range? Dollar Swiss wait for some sort of continuation here to buy. Hello, Major Steel. I will set buy stop. If it doesn't trigger, I leave it. That's exactly what I'm doing. I actually haven't set a buy stop here, but I will set a buy stop here soon. And then we'll see how the market close. I just want to see this 1 hour, what will happen, and then I'll take it from there. But I would definitely want to get in on Euro Aussie. I think this is, again, I want to say no-brainer when I see descending channel on a higher time frame where I have impulse, correction, impulse. We're potentially breaking out the structure now. But remember, right, we break out the trend line doesn't mean anything. We're waiting for confirmation that's going to give us the next buy move, okay? Euro also the same thing, right? Waiting for confirmation correction here. Because Euro Kiwi push up so much more, I would wait for a deeper correction. That's kind of something that I will be looking out for. I went over dollar ZAR already, Switch, in case you haven't heard that. You were there when I said it, I think. I'm not interested in dollar ZAR. I am, because I want to see price if it gets to the low here before reversing. Because most of the dollar is looking strength, and this is not looking like we're getting strength from dollar ZAR yet. It looks like we're still in a correction here. So I will wait to see if we push down here and then the reversal up afterwards. Can you list a few books that support your method? It will be very useful. I honestly never read any trading book except there's only one that's called Trading in the Zone, but that's not even to do with price action, really. It's to do with mindset and emotion, things like that. I think the best way to learn is to go on TradingView, right? Go on TradingView, go look at people's analysis who also trade impulse correction or price action, things like that. So you can watch mine, you can go to mine, and all my YouTube channels, right? All my YouTube videos explaining everything about price action, analysis and structures and like that. That's every single my lessons are here. Every single risk management I have is here. Intro to trading videos here that for you guys to look. I really did not learn. I really did not read any books, to be honest. We're in the 21st century. I think watching things on YouTube or online is going to be a much faster way to learn rather than reading a book. Okay, that's why and sorry to say, I'm never really interested in reading a book. No offense to others, okay? Don't take it wrong, but I just never really like reading books. So let's move on to commodities now. Any other question on currency? I'm just gonna jump into commodities now. If there's not much question, we're gonna start talking about gold, silver, and things like that. How is Euro Yen? Euro Yen is okay. Euro Yen is pushing down, right? We talk about Euro Yen as well. Head and shoulder, we impulse out of this ascending channel. Looks like there's a continuation. We push down now. If there's a correction here, which likely it will, it can push down lower. Gotten from here or from here, I don't think getting here is good because we're getting to this low already. We can reverse back up, so be careful. If you wait for the price to break out of the high time structure, well, but up to your risk management, of course. Use audiobook, yeah, something like that. I just think we're in this today's technology age. We can. I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong with reading a book. I'm just saying that I can achieve more by not reading the book, by going online, by going on other apps, by going on other platforms. I can absorb the information a lot better, a lot more if I do it this way, right? So Let's talk about oil. Oil has been dropping down. Oil has been dropping down quite a bit. So if you guys are in oil, good. There was a pullback here, a correction here. I was looking at this to enter. I ultimately did not enter here. I was really looking for entry here on, just did not enter here. I was looking at this to see, well, what if this is going to be a double bottom? What if this is going to be a reversal area? I end up not entering this. If this pushes down lower, if there's more correction here, then I expect price to actually continue lower to this low here. So if you're in the gold, if you're in oil from here, good. I suggest you to hold it. But if you're not in, um, wait for price to move down a little bit more and correct itself to go further. Okay. Euro Kiwi, yeah. Audi, that's a, yeah, you asked me to go over this one, I remember. Um, so what I see here, this is actually the first time where I haven't really looked at these exotic pairs. So Australian dollar, Indian rupee. What I see here on the higher time frame is a double top here. And if we go down to the lower time, dollar really, right? You have the head and shoulder here, you have the continuation. So impulse, correction, impulse. And we're breaking low now. So if this breaks below here and follow more continuation, then expect more. Pretty much similar like Aussie dollar, I'm pretty sure you have seen. So if we go Aussie dollar, it's identical here in terms of price action here, right? So hey Marcin, nice to see you, buddy. Could you check pound CAD? Sure. Not not as good as a couple other CAD pairs, but I will talk about this briefly. I did go over this, I think, in a weekly outlook. I like how we have this ascending channel. We have an impulse, correction, impulse. It looks like this is a bigger correction that's forming. So wait for this correction to finish and wait for price to break the low and then possibly to continue. On the higher time frame, this is still impulse. This looks like a kind of expanding or a pennant kind of structure. We're still at the very top, so expect price to make its move down to low eventually. But first thing first, in my opinion, the lower time frame needs to complete some sort of structure here and then push the price down lower. That's something that I will be looking at. Okay, so all right, so let's go back to commodities. So I talk about oil. Let's talk about trade. Um, Silver looks really clean to me. Talk about silver from this kind of perspective. Double top here, strong impulse correction, looking for the next impulse down, right? And looks like we're breaking all now. So if we can break this previous low, I do expect price to go all the way to the low here, and then completing potentially this higher time frame structure, and then look for the next buy from this. I like all this bearish short-term price action. I definitely see the merit in here to enter. I simply enter here when this correction happens after this breakout. So a impulse correction, I'm looking for the next impulse, right? That's how I got in on here with the entry order. Very straightforward in here, set by stop loss above. Actually pretty wide stop loss in my opinion, but I'm fine with that. I like these. I like to hold this for a little bit longer if we're going to see this next bearish move down to the low. Really good. We're almost 10 to 5 pip stop loss. So I definitely like this trade. I'm happy to enter here and happy to take profit here and then wait for the buy from here. Let's talk about gold. A lot of you guys are asking me about gold. So let's talk about gold here. Um, if you guys recall, originally I was looking for the buy here, right? If we're looking for on the higher time frame structure, this to me at the time was forming this kind of a channel or a wedge structure, and I was looking for a huge reversal from the bottom. But I can't ignore the fact that what the price here is doing is we had an impulsive move down. Looks like we're following by a continuation bearish correction. Okay, so we can't just ignore that, right? I talk about this a lot in my educational video, is that you may have a bias at first, which my bias here was a potential buy, right? At the time, it looks good. We had a descending channel. We popped to the upside. There's correction. It looks good to look like it's going to continue. But as the price continue to show you more price action, you just have to understand what the price is. The price is pretty much giving you a signal, right? People talk about signal all the time. Literally, I love getting signal, but signal from the market is going to be the most purest form, right? So the signal here is that this is still an impulsive move down, and this is not looking like it's a reversal correction anymore. This was a reversal structure, but it evolved into a continuation correction. Okay, so I do see this as a bearish move. If you can see that there's a bearish breakdown already, looks like there is a structure here as well. So if we're breaking out of this structure now, if there's lower time frame continuation, just like silver, I certainly do expect price to move all the way down here and then to see what will happen afterwards. Okay, so this correctional structure is giving me more bearish kind of bias rather than bullish bias originally, right? And that's why I have to acknowledge what I'm seeing here. I have to acknowledge the market signal that is telling us and acknowledge it and up to it. So that is gold. Okay, any question on this before I move on to other things? Did you move indices? Not yet, Earth. I'm going to talk about indices after. But I'm just talking about gold, talking about silver as well. So because I'm in silver, I'm not really planned on gold, but I am looking for silver. The silver gives me a lot better risk reward for that move to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right, so that is gold, silver, and oil. Okay. Any question on these before I jump into the indices? NUUSD, do you mean Kiwi dollar or something else? Like, is that crypto or something? Yeah, I'll talk about crypto after, okay? So I'm gonna do indices first, and I don't draw triangle. Do I not like them? What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by triangles? I draw structures. They may be triangle, they may not be triangle. It depends on how each trader draws the triangle, right? So you can show me a chart and I can see what you mean. So crypto, yeah, I'm gonna go over that after, okay? So let me finish the indices and I'll jump into crypto after. So let's go to indices, okay? So if you guys recall last week, I was in couple of the indices index fund indices trade. Uh, pretty much all resulting break even. I was in Nasdaq, I was in S&P. I will go over them in my weekly outlook, but let's talk about a few things I'm looking at now. As probably the most potential out of the other three that we see from the U.S. indices. Dow Jones, we're at the top. We have this ascending channel. We push down. Was pretty much looking for a continuation, which now, and we might just start seeing the next bearish run. Okay, so this area here is probably a good area to watch out for. If we form some sort of correction here, I do like this move down to push down lower and lower. Okay, so that's something I will keep an eye on. The other two, not so much as how I like it before, but I will go over them again. S&P 500, if you guys recall, I got in on this sell here. End up just taking profit for about 0.3% or something, because when I start seeing this this move on lower time frame, we pushed down the price, and then I was looking to see if the structure is going to continue lower. It did not. So this is the same time when my NASDAQ position got break even. So I just manually exited and because I didn't want to hold through it afterwards when I start seeing bullish price action on the lower time frame. So I pretty happy with the result. So what I'm seeing here is, are we going to get some sort of, is this going to be a structure going this way? So a little bit of ascending structure and then still continue the bearish move down. Okay, so no entry at this time. It's pretty much just waiting to see what it will develop in this last area from there. NASDAQ, kind of the same thing. If you guys recall, I got it on this entry order here and semi stop loss to break even, and eventually price just pulled back and take me out. So, well, are we saying that the bearish move is over? Well, not necessarily. I think you can see this as a bigger structure that the price is trying to do. And if this move up, if we have one more move up to the top here, if we have one more move up to the top here, this can still reverse back down and start going downwards afterwards. Okay, but it's not very clean. It's not very clear like other, let's say dollar pair or yen pairs that I went over in the morning. It's a little bit more messier, and I would say I favor Dow Jones now a lot more than NASDAQ because of this kind of bullish push up on the lower time frame. But all of these three are still pretty much in development. I'm not really seeing much or entry at this moment, but I will look for a potential development here if that's going to happen. Okay, so that's pretty much the US indices. Any question here, guys, before I go to crypto? Any other indices you're looking at? I can go to crypto after. All right, so let's go to crypto. Let's go to look at a few cryptos, what I see about them, and then we'll take it from there. What's ARK? Is that equity? Is that equity ARK? So all I'm seeing here is this is we have this kind of ascending channel structure. We break down, followed by continuation. We break down more, but looks like there's a reversal impulse and then a potential continuation correction. Tesla, right? Very similar price action structure like Tesla. So very identical, right? So I would pretty much the same approach like Tesla. What I'm just going to talk about is wait for this right side shoulder to complete. This is an inverse head and shoulder pattern. We have the bearish move temporarily, but we're very likely to resume the bullish run afterwards. So that's kind of what I see. All right, so let's move on to crypto. So let's go on to crypto. Let's talk about Cardano first because Cardano's ready for the next buy yet. I know I got a lot of messages of you guys asking me about Cardano, but I'm not really seeing it after this bullish breakout did not continue. If you guys recall, I got in on this buy here but at the time, the buy is actually very, very, very nice. I haven't seen this clean of the price action. We broke out of the higher time frame structure, and then we had this impulse up, right? Let me just show you guys. We have this impulse out of this kind of higher time frame structure, and I was looking for a lower time frame correction. This was the lower time frame correction I got in, but when price started pushing up, like very correctively forming this ascending channel. Already I moved my stop loss to break even because this wasn't showing me a continuation. This is pretty much showing me a reversal at the all-time high. So as we know, we've seen these play out over and over again. When we either hit the all-time high or break the all-time high, but it start forming things correctively, especially a reversal correction, there's a tendency that price will reverse exactly what happened here. So what do I see from this now? Well, this looks like it can continue lower and lower. See is form a bigger structure here for the next buy. Okay, I haven't seen a big enough structure here on Cardano for a really long time since the bottom here. Right, we've been talking about the buys here, the buys here. I haven't seen a bigger correction. Like this is a bigger correction. That's why I thought this move would be the one that's continue, but clearly the price is not showing that, right? So I just think there's going to be a deeper consolidation, a deeper correction before the next up move, and that's why being patient here. This move down looks pretty corrective already. So if this is going to be a descending channel moving down, move it down, hit some double bottom, completing this kind of a structure, and then take off afterwards. Okay, so that's what I see on Cardano. Let's move on to a few other ones. I did go over gold, but I'll jump back to it afterwards if you wait for me to go to crypto. So cash, if you follow me in Telegram, I've been talking. I did a quick update yesterday about all the crypto looks pretty bearish to me. It still does, to be honest. I see this bearish move down. I see this kind of a continuation flag. On these is just pretty much showing me that we might just see the price push down a little bit lower, at least short-term wise. Okay, so I'll update it really quick, but I'm not really seeing much here in terms of price action to go bullish. It's all showing me bearish price action here. Okay, and some of you guys asked me about BNB. Same idea here. I didn't like how we just didn't continue the price anymore. It's start going kind of like slanted this way now. And this is what I noticed is if this is a bearish impulsive move down, this can just be a correction for this move, and then we're going to continue back to the low here. Okay, so in the meantime, there's really not much going on here. If I want to make a call, I'd say this is likely here potentially before the next up move or something like that. Okay, so don't jump into the buy if there's no confirmation here yet. So that's being for bearish move really. Like I said, same across all the crypto board. When I start seeing this structure forming, okay, like we broke the top and then we move up correct pattern, double top here. Looks like we're just going to continue lower and lower. And to be honest, I wanted to go lower and lower because that's going to give us a better chance to buy, right? This is the price is a little bit too high. We haven't seen a continuation, large enough continuation correction before the next buy. So naturally, if this move down correctively, forming a correction here, that's going to give us a better buy chance from the bottom. Okay, and you just have to understand how the price move. We're not going to move up in a straight line. We even if in Bitcoin, bigger corrections still form. If you notice, bigger consolidation, bigger correction needs to form before the next up move, right? So same thing is here. Okay, we're likely to not just push up from here moving forward, unless this is some sort of correction. But I really don't see it that way. I see a bigger structure potentially in the making, and I just want to see a bigger continuation bullish correction for the next buy, something like this. Okay, I will be definitely buying here if the price move down here, completing the bigger correction for the next up move. Okay. I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Earth, which panel, which pair or entry you're referring to. I set it to break even because it gives the price room to move. Everything you do in trading is double edged, right? If you're going to move, like I'm assuming you're talking about this. I'm not sure, but I move it to break even because when price impulse down, I want to protect my capital. I can't move go to choke the price and then let the price take me out and then resume the trend. That would be more emotional, right? But there is really no different. There's no right and wrong when it comes to it as a trader, right? So because the price can still move down, and then if you're talking about Cardano, um, again, there's no right and wrong what you do. You're talking about moving a stop loss to here or stop loss to here, right? But what if the price move down here and form a structure like this and then continue upwards? Are you going to be very choked now because if this move takes off, but because you choke the price a little bit, it takes you out, but then what ends up happening is just forming a bigger expanding structure and then still resume the trend. What if that happens, right? We cannot be result oriented, which is kind of what you're saying here is, of course, I set the stop loss to break even, so nothing happens here. But in this example, in this scenario, this is why we cannot be result oriented, right? This is why a lot of traders have to understand is whatever you do here, whatever your management to do here, it's never going to be 100%, and it's what suits you as a trader, what suits your plan, your management, because what you're saying is correct in its way. If you want to set your stop loss to here, you make some profit, or you set your stop loss to here, you make some profit. But what if I give you that exact scenario? What if that happens? Would you be comfortable taking maybe 0.5% profit and then just see 10% gone because you choke the price and the price eventually reverts up, right? So different scenario here, right? I'm not saying this is going to happen. All I'm saying is don't be result oriented, because if this case happens, you might be thinking, oh, why don't I just exit at the top? Well, it can't be like that, right? Because you don't know what is going to happen. Okay, we don't know what the market will do or how it's going to develop. All we can do, all we can control is our risk management, our entry, our stop loss, etc. We can't control if this move is going to take off or this move is going to drop. All we can control is our management side of things. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you. Dollar cat on Sunday, yeah. Hey, nice to see you. Where am I? So I talk about Bitcoin. I'm just gonna wrap it up with all the crypto really quick. So like I said, most of the crypto looks pretty bearish to me. Looks like it's mostly in a bearish kind of price action. So thought as well, this bigger kind of parallel channel, either a breakout or another push to upside before the breakdown is okay. EOS, same thing, impulse down, larger correction here, looking to go down. Ethereum already kind of broke down from this head and shoulder as well. Link in this kind of channel, we're breaking out now, so continuation here may bring the price down to the low. LTC dropping as well. That's about it for. I am still kind of watching Ripple here because Ripple actually broke out of this kind of pennant or triangle or whatever. Looking for a continuation here would be nice. Other than that, really not much other. Like I said, more to me, and I don't really like to sell crypto. I'm not day trading crypto either. I'm usually getting on crypto to hold for a longer term or at least as a swing trade. So I don't really like to short crypto. That's just my plan at first. So that's about it for crypto. But let me kind of look through other people's question here. Yeah, Mu USD, sure. This to me is okay. I like how this is a period consolidation. This is an impulsive move. This is a period consolidation. We just have to see what this consolidation will do if it's going to break up and continue. That's the only thing I see right now. Not too much bearish move at this. I like how this is rather corrective. So that's a good thing for a bullish kind of outlook. Tony, you can take partial instead of trailing your stop loss as long as you're at break even. Yeah, need different management approach. Nothing is wrong and nothing right. Everyone has their own way of managing it, so there's no right and wrong, right? It's what suits you as a trader specifically. So I like to take that, right? Some people might want to take a little bit profit here, and that's fine too, right? But all I'm saying is don't be result oriented when it comes to this because we don't know if that's going to happen, right? We don't know anything. All we can do is to manage our entries, management, stop loss, and things like that. That's something we can control, right? That's a really important emotional lesson that I always tell people is that I can control these things, but I cannot control if this is going to take off or this is going to drop. So I need to be risk management oriented when it comes to this. Okay. Show what will happen. Well, I'm waiting for a bigger correction. I'm not really interested in the buy or sell at the moment. I want to see if price will form a bigger correction like this. So if this move down correctively, I would like entry order here. If not, then I'm just going to be on the sideline. I'm not really looking to buy or sell when it comes to this, okay? I just didn't like how for weeks now, this massive impulsive move, this correction. We had a breakout from here, lower time frame continuation. It didn't work out in our favor, and just looks like there's going to be bigger consolidation forming. Okay. Gold. Yeah, so I'll talk about gold again. Yeah, so for me, like I said, gold, originally I was looking at this as a bullish potential reversal, but this looks like as the price continue to develop, this more looking like it's going to be a kind of a continuation correction for this move. So this is an impulse correction, looking like this is going to impulse down now. Okay, so I have to acknowledge what's going on here, right? This is, I know I repeat this again, but we have to adapt to what the market is doing. We can't just be married to our analysis. Like if we're thinking that this is supposed to go up, right, indefinitely. At the time, of course, price looks like we're going to continue upwards, and this is a lot of us getting in on this. But as the price action continue to develop more and more, we just have to adjust, right? We have to adjust to what the market is doing. The market is giving us a signal now, right? This is a signal from the market that this may be the next reversal down. Okay. What do I think about FTMO? What do I think about prop trading in general? Well, you can definitely try that, but let me just give you a potential warning on prop firms. Is that they usually tend to have rules and regulations or things that you need to follow. So that may or may not work with your trading plan or strategy. You might need to change the way of you trading in adapt to a FTMO or any other prop firms. So be aware of that, okay? Why a lot of people, let me, why a lot of people usually say these prop firms are scam is because they lose money, okay? So don't just right away listen to people who think prop firms are scam. They're not scam. If you think about it, they need sure you're not. If they're gonna give you 100,000 to trade, they want to make sure you're a good trader, right? They don't want you to lose their money, right? So understand that they obviously have rules or implementation to make sure you don't overtrade or over leverage and things like that, which all makes sense. And they require you to at least have some money at stake because if you have no money at stake, why would they be all at risk, right? So that's why they make you to pay a little bit or whatever. Different firms work differently, so don't quote me on it, but The whole point is you have to have some money at stake in order to trade 100,000, right? And if you lose the 100,000, they're going to take away your initial deposit or initial money at stake. So make sure you're really, really, really consistent before you do that. If you're not making the return that they want you to make, then you're not going to get back the money that you put in. Okay. AST do I review high potential altcoins? I just did that, so maybe you join me a little bit later. I went over all the crypto pairs that I just went over, so. First time seeing this, see we just broke the previous high here, so, or around the previous high here, so that's good, right? This is the previous high we're approaching, so be careful here. Because this move has already pushed up and that previous high is here, I really wouldn't enter here. I would prefer for price to break above this high here. Right, if I will wait for price to break this high here and continuation to be better. TRB, that's all crypto, right? Be careful here because we're at this top now. Okay, so this could be a double top here. It's all about if this price is going to continue with the continuation correction or we start going to see reversal correction. Now, that make sure you understand that this is a potential area that we might reverse. This move up is quite corrective in ascending channel. So we talk about that M style pattern. We talk about the double top. We talk about the ascending channel. Make sure you watch out for this potential move, okay? I'll watch your recording. Yeah, well, I'll quickly scan through. Like I said, most of the crypto I look is pretty bearish to me personally because it's all showing me impulse, correction, impulse, right? A lot of these are pretty much showing all of us kind of a bearish kind of price action. So I'm not really interested in selling crypto. Okay, so but I go over them, kind of what I see on them, right? Even Link is the same. Next looks like it's going to go down further. So okay, so most of these are looking pretty bearish. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're selling selling crypto or not, or if you're in the buys. Just understand that this is kind of what the price is showing, right? So we're likely to have a little bit more bearish move, at least to all the previous low, at least to the lows of the correction that it's in, right? Most of them are forming either some sort of channel, some sort of expanding structure, some sort of continuation correction for a bearish move, right? So just be careful on that. That's what I see on most of them. Bearish means we should be selling or diamond. Bearish just when I mean what I see the price can go down further, right? But if you're in the buy, then obviously it's up to your choice to hold a position, in your case diamond hand, or you might want to cut losses. But don't just listen to me and make a decision. I hope you have your own trading plan, you have your own management, and follow it accordingly, right? I'm just giving you a more outlook of the price, what I'm seeing. Okay, and I hope that can give you a little bit direction. I'm not here to tell you buy or sell. I'm not here to give signals, give you the price. B Pro, is that crypto or? Yeah, I mean, these are all, I don't really trade these kind of altcoins, or I want to say I don't really want to trade these. There's not much value in here, right? 0.00, I can't even read how many zeros there is. But I don't really trade anything like this. Okay, you might be looking for a buy, and I do see a potential buy if we look at the price action here. Impulse correction, impulse up. Looks like we're having another continuation if this completes. Breaks out followed by continuation, we could continue go higher. But again, these are all relatively new in my opinion, right? There's really not much data to look at, and I don't trade these kind of transactions, but that's something that I would say. What do I see on pound dollar? You look at pound. I'm gonna be wrapping up very soon afterwards, guys. So if you have any other questions, let me know. But I'll be wrapping up the stream very soon. So pound dollar, what do I see? Well, I went over this in the beginning because I like the higher time frame ascending channel. I like how we're potentially going to break out of this ascending channel. And as I always say, the longer, deeper, the lengthier of a correction goes, the stronger the next impulse will happen, right? We know ascending channel is a reversal structure. We know that we already been offering kind of bearish price action. So to confirm everything is to confirm a potential breakout of this ascending channel on the higher time frame and followed by continuation correction. I talk about this since we're like in February or something. I mentioned if this bearish move happens, if this bearish breakdown happens, and for the continuation, this is always going to be my entry, like no question asked, right? I'm going to take this entry. I'm happy to take a loss. I'll have it over again because it's going to give you the good risk reward. And when you backtest enough on price action, you'll see that's exactly what the price will do. Okay, so this is why I have to continuously inbrand the market and the price action in your head. So the next time when you see the similar thing happen, you're going to execute it without fear, without any FOMO, without any worry about the price, like without checking your phone for the position every single second. I think that's really bad for psychologically, right? When you enter a trade, once you enter a trade, you don't need to check your phone every minute. It's just such a bad habit, right? Be peace with yourself and the market. If you enter the trade, acknowledge the fact that it can go to a loss. The moment you truly understand that, then trading isn't hard anymore, right? Trading isn't emotional for you anymore. The moment I enter any single trade, I already acknowledge I'm going to take a loss. Like if when I enter silver, I already acknowledge that I'm going to take a loss. It's just that simple, right? When you make peace with yourself, okay, I enter this, I might get taken out my trading capital, but if you consistently trade and you consistently make profit, then all your profit that you have made is going to help you to um, remove the losses, and then it actually is. It's not about making like 40-50% a month, taking multiple positions, right? What people see on social media, that's really not trading, right? Trading is about consistency, sustainability, and long-term approach. If you want to be in this business for the next, 30 years, work on your mindset and emotion, work on being consistent, not trying to make your $100 turn into 10,000 in like a few months. You're likely to fail, right? Because you're going to over leverage, over trade, and revenge train when you start losing. And you're just going to keep blowing this account and you're not going anywhere. Okay, so it doesn't matter what amount you start with, right? But be consistent with it so that when you are consistent, there are other approach for money, right? Someone asked about FTMO. Yeah, if you can consistently be making money on $100, then you can prove to that. Then why wouldn't they let you trade the money, right? If you can show them the consistency of it, okay, and that's to everyone is everyone trying to turn their small account into big amount, and that usually backfires and they lose it all, right? And once they lose the first 100, they're gonna deposit the second 100, third, and when they're at the fifth one, all they're thinking about is how do I make back the first money? How do I make back the second money? How do I make back the third money? So you're just all emotional already trying to make back the money you lost, and you're never going to reach this, okay? So that's my honest opinion. I know not necessarily people can agree. That's fine. I'm just giving you guys my method, my understanding of everything, right? So, yeah, 10% per month is good. $100 expect 110 after first month. Yeah, don't have some over exaggerate expectation in trading because that's not going to help you when you have a high expectation of trading because it really isn't, right? People who go like, okay, like 1,000 in a month or something like that, and that's not how it works, right? So that's really not, right? So I know the social media confuses a lot of new traders or new people who go into this business, but it's really okay. Eventually, the newcomers will starting to begin to realize trading isn't easy as how they see on social media, right? It's very, very hard actually. So the moment they realize that's the first step. The first step is to distinguish yourself from all the social media trading guru that's showing you profit after profit, money after money, showing you things that you want to see. But when they realize that's not the case, that's already a good step forward, right? And then now they need to look at is how to work on their strategy, how to work on their trading plan, risk management, how to work on their mindset, emotion, etc. That's going to help them to be a better trader overall, right? So, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, yeah. VET, is that stock or about stock or crypto? Nicholas. I'm assuming you're talking about crypto. Well, I honestly I really don't see much. I don't see much because this move up is quite impulsively, but there's a tendency here that looks like an ascending channel, right? So we're not seeing the normal impulsive move which we usually see. So be a little bit more careful because multi-time frame analysis, I'm seeing ascending channel here within the larger ascending channel. This looks like a sharp breakdown, right? So if this continue more, followed by correction, this might go down more. Okay, I'm not too phased with this inverse head and shoulder, which is maybe what you're looking at, but I'm seeing it more on a higher time frame approach where this move overall is still in a ascending kind of corrective format, and we have a smaller ascending channel. There's a move down, so I'm not really interested to be buying here just because of this inverse head and shoulder. Preferably is to push up above the high and then continue. That's going to give you a better buy. But instead, this is going to push expect from this reversal structure here. Okay, so yeah, I went over BNB too much really. I mentioned about price isn't giving us too much clue right here. What it looks like more is forming an impulse followed by a correctional structure. This can go down lower, at least to the lows here, and then we'll see if it's going to form a bigger structure to reverse back up. Okay, but for now, this is kind of what I'm looking at. It looks like it can just be a little bit more short-term bearish before the next up move. Okay. Yeah, any other question, guys? Any other question or anything before I wrap it up? Just again going over the positions. So pound yen in this position here, looking to see what will happen here, if it's going to continue lower or it's going to pop to the upside. I'm going to move my stop loss to 1-to-1 profit once if this is going to continue upwards. Other pairs I'm looking at, I'm going to go through a quick run through them. Dollar looks really clean to go continuation, but I think Kiwi dollar is probably the best. Impulse correction impulse, right? This is prime example of the news that does not affect the market. Pound dollar looks Dollar CAD as well, like Michael mentioned, dollar CAD is pushing up now, so which is great. I like dollar CAD. I like the big reversal possibility. Few yen pairs I like, definitely Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen was in one of the Aussie Yen trade, and I was debating to enter here or choose pound yen. Ultimately, choose pound yen. But if we get another correction here, expect price to continue to the low. Euro yen, same idea. Expect a correction here to break out, followed by a larger correction, which is very nice if we do happen and we're breaking out of the higher time frame structure here. Pound yen, we talk about liking the double top here, M style pattern, and then we have the large pulse down followed by correction. Expect this move to reach the low here. Kiwi yen is also looking great. We have this impulse down followed by expanding structure. So double top continuation. Expect this move to go to the next low. Euro Aussie, I'm looking for a potential entry here. Want to see what will happen in this latest bit of area. I'll set a buy stop entry. I haven't set it yet, but I'm looking to set a buy stop entry order here. Looking for this descending channel to reverse and continuation to the upside. Euro Kiwi move up massively already, right? Descending channel moving down, impulse correction, impulse, right? Was talking about this on Sunday weekly outlook. So this pretty much play out exactly the way I want to see it. Wait for it, lower time frame correction here would be nice. Kiwi CAD has been dropped quite expect a correction here, right? We talk about this one for a while. This is the move that we talk about for the bearish move down. Now that we broke out of the higher time frame structure, look for lower time frame continuation. Euro Kiwi. So break down from this wedge, not wedge, sorry, expanding structure, push down, looking for continuation correction here to sell. And then commodity wise, oil I was looking at, I didn't get in on this oil. I was looking to get oil sell set up here, but I didn't enter. But want to see if we can just break this previous low and continue lower. That would be nice. Talk about gold. Gold is forming this kind of a continuation pattern for this move here. So expect further, at least short-term sell to the low and see what happens. Silver, I'm in silver. I'm looking to see a continuation move down to the higher time frame low, and then potentially look for a buy setup from here. Okay, and that's about it. Not much on indices except Jones, the one that I mentioned that could play out if we form some sort of correction here, impulse correction, impulse down. Other than that, not too many other indices are in my watch list, and I have silver and I have pound yen. Just two position open, but I will look at Euro Aussie like I mentioned. I will look at Euro Aussie if that it shakes up to be a potential buy. And that's about it. I think there's no other ones that I really want to get in. I think Euro Aussie is definitely the one that I will be looking out to. Euro Kiwi is good, but hasn't formed a correction yet. And that's about it, I think. And a couple other, Aussie Kiwi pairs that I might look to get in. But other than that, not much. It's okay. So just focus on the current positions and then take it from there. So. Okay, so any question before I wrap this up, guys? Any other question for me? Like I mentioned, if you guys are new, if you like these kind of streams, I do the streams 3 times a week. I do weekly market for the week ahead, and then I do 2 daily market update like today, and I'll do one on Thursday as well during New York session. All my streams are saved forever, so you can watch them all on here. On categorize all my videos on playlists. So weekly outlook, daily market update, price action analysis, risk management, trading psychology, things like that. You can learn every single video from here. Okay. I do suggest watch this one. Does news affect price action analysis? Because this is pretty much all the price that we have been seeing. Shows you that, right? This is the FOMC meeting when we have that bearish move down, and guess what happens afterwards? News does not, news does not affect the overall price action analysis, which is what we've been looking at, right? A lot of these prime examples in that video where I showed the dollar pair, the yen pairs, and etc. where the volatility happens, it does not predict the direction to go down. Instead, it just give us a big reversal. Okay. What days are you streaming again? I'll do one on Thursday, New York session, 14 o'clock GMT. You can always watch my stream in my Telegram. This is what I do is I will post the link and the time in my trading Telegram channel, so you can always click which one you want to watch. Okay. In the Telegram, this is where I update all my positions, all my other analysis I'm looking at, educational videos, updates, things like that. That's what I do here in my channel. I'm not bombarding with random information. I don't sell things here, or I don't try to sell signals. So don't worry about people keep promoting things. I don't promote anything here. Okay. No sound. Why can't you hear? You need to mute it on your bottom left screen. I'll mute it. How do candlestick price action? I think you asked me about this. I don't really focus on candlestick price action, and really you can find a lot of candlestick strategies online for free, right? Just Google it. But they're not the, what I'm trying to say is they're not a must when I come to price action trading. Okay, where price action trading, we're looking at the structures and patterns and the phrases of the market. But candlestick doesn't matter. Why? Because the moment you change candlestick to something else, let's say I change to a line, is the candlestick there anymore? Does the candlestick provide you a Lopez doji or something like that? It doesn't show anymore. But does the price action is still there? Do we still see a descending channel? Do we still see an impulse? Do we still see a correction? Do we see the next impulse? That is why it's not guarantee anything, and it's not. You don't need to use it as your primary confirmation. Use it as a side thing. Use it as an added confluence. After you go to the candlestick, then you see if there's bullish candles or bearish candle, or whatever. That's going to add confluence to your trade, but it doesn't necessarily predict where the market is going. Okay. All right, everyone. So I think that is it. I think that's it. So if you have any questions, you feel free to ask me in my Telegram, in my chat group. I have a group chat room that everyone can ask questions and share ideas. That's where we learn together. But everything else you can watch on my TradingView, YouTube, and Telegram. That's where I post all my contents. And I will see you guys all next Thursday at New York Session Market Update. So if you like these streams, welcome to join me next time. All right. So thank you very much. So thank you guys all to join me today, and I appreciate the newcomers. Feel free to interact with me and the other guys. So good morning to you guys. Good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Thank you very much.